Hitting the button. Hi everybody, how are you today? Fantastic Thursday. What a beautiful day across the Tennessee Valley. All this talk about big changes coming, storms tomorrow, cold blast of air for Monday, but live in the moment. Yesterday was great. Today is fantastic. Temperatures in the 70s today. We're on the cusp of 70 already. It's 66 in the Shoals right now, and just another spectacular fall day. If you have had an opportunity in the past week to maybe take a little drive around the Tennessee Valley, especially Jackson County, DeKalb County, I was there last weekend. The colors look really, really spectacular. Starting to see some real true fall foliage. I feel like it's the best fall foliage coverage since I've moved here, and some of the views are amazing and stunning, like really deep oranges and yellows. And I would probably venture to say that you might want to go check it out today or maybe Saturday, because with some colder air coming in on Sunday, Monday, there's probably going to be a little wind with it too. And it might take some of the leaves off the trees and maybe not have as much coverage of the foliage that we have out there today, because it is spectacular. Also, if you were out and about last night, how amazing was that super moon last night? It like illuminated the entire backyard. I didn't even have to bring the flashlight out for the dogs. The dogs were like, I see everything perfectly. It's like sunshine outside. It was amazing. We had a beautiful view of that moon because we had clear skies last night. It was really nice. It actually was a beautiful evening. So gorgeous outside now, 66 in the Shoals. Many locations now are in the 60s, I do believe. Yes, there we go. Actually, some areas even closer to 70 than the Shoals. I picked the Shoals camera because I figured they would be the closest to 70, but not so fast. Coleman's at 68, Russellville, Haleyville, 67, and even areas east, like Fort Payne, 66 degrees as well. So it's a very equal opportunity kind of temperature pattern here through the morning hours. We're all warming up the same way through the morning with plenty of sunshine. Not as much fog this morning. I thought we'd have a lot more fog. Both Eric and I were talking about it. It was patchy, but it wasn't as prevalent as I thought it was going to be. So that was nice. We didn't have to burn any fog off, and therefore right in the sunshine really fast. It turns out to be nice. Winds were breezy yesterday out of the southwest. They turned a little bit more southeasterly today and not quite as gusty. Probably more along the lines of 5 to 10 instead of like 10 to 15, gusts to 20 like we had yesterday. But very warm air across the deep south right now. Along the coast, in the Tennessee Valley, there's no real evidence of like really cold air until you get to the dark blue up there, north of the Great Lakes and into northern New England. There's like 2 waves of cold air coming in. The first wave comes at us on Sunday. The second one is a bone crusher on Monday. In fact, we were joking around on air this morning when Eric was on air for one of his hits. He tossed over to me in traffic, and the actual air temperature when he was on air, I think it was a 6:30 hit, are actually warmer this morning than what the high temperature is going to be by the time we get to Monday. So huge changes, and all that really cold air is still bottled up in Canada, but eventually it will slip south and be part of our forecast. So the 70-degree days are going to come to an end as we go into the weekend, but we still squeeze out one more today. Plenty of sunshine. Look how mild the temperatures are at 7 p.m. though, 61 degrees. Usually this time of year, if we even have a warm day where it can go 71 or 72, when the sun goes down before 5 p.m., the temperatures can take a little bit of a hit and they can fall quickly back 50s right away. Not the case tonight. Temperature drop is so slow that by morning we're still in the 50s with just a few passing clouds. So this is what we would consider a very mild night. Now I know you go outside and wake up tomorrow and it's 53 degrees and you're like, it's not mild, but this time of year it is mild, and it will be our warmest morning of the entire week. And then we turn our attention to the radar on Friday. So the first of 2 48 first alert weather days will be for Friday, and that's for the potential for some strong thunderstorms. It looks like late in the day into the evening. Forecast model still not in a complete agreement on the arrival time, but it looks like later in the day, evening for now. Still 73 degrees. The concern with the storms on Friday would be some heavy rain and gusty winds. It looks like right now that some of the strongest of storms or the potential for a higher threat for severe weather will be to our north. So areas like in Nashville may have a higher chance of seeing more in the way of stronger storms, but something we got to keep an eye on. And we'll keep updates coming throughout the day today and tomorrow morning, of course. Brad will be in tonight updating the forecast, but that's the first of the 248 first alert weather days we have. And then once that storm system moves out and the storms come to an end, it doesn't get cold right away. In fact, Saturday is still in the 70s, and Saturday is not a bad day. It's a mix of sun and clouds in the morning, and then we got to keep an eye out for another round of showers in the afternoon. And I want to actually add storms to that too, because there could be a few thunderstorms Saturday evening with some heavy rain as well. That's the next push of rain that comes in. That will really drop your temperature, and you won't feel it Sunday morning. So I'm on air with you Sunday morning. I'm going to be talking about temperatures around 50 degrees when I'm on air at 5 and 6 a.m. And that is a very warm start to the day. The problem on Sunday, we may go up a degree or two, and then the temperatures go way down. In fact, that 54 on Sunday will likely happen around the noontime hour, and then many of you will be in the 40s by the afternoon. It'll be much, much cooler. And then we wait for the next shot of colder air to come in with a frontal boundary, and that could spark a few flurries for Jackson County and DeKalb County on Monday. I know the flurries gets everyone's attention, but I would probably check out that high temperature a little bit closer, because that's going to impact more of the Tennessee Valley than the flurries. And so we drop the temperature Sunday, bottom out around 30 on Sunday night into Monday morning, only warm to near 40 on Monday, which is way below average for this time of year, and such a change in the weather pattern from where we're at today with temperatures in the 70s. And then a really cold night Monday night where we got some low to mid 20s. That will be a hard freeze. And so when you wake up on Veterans Day on Tuesday, it is definitely cold, but some sun will help bring those temperatures up to around 50. And then the trend is to warm things up on the back end of that 10-day forecast. In fact, Veterans Day itself being around 50, by the time we get to the parade, it's going to be chilly, don't get me wrong, but the temperatures aren't going to drop significantly. In fact, the low Tuesday night is about 36, not 24. So you can see the difference. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 60s to near 70. And I'll pull this up so you can see it a little bit better. Plus, it allows me to take a sip of my drink, which is great. But there's a lot of changes in that forecast. I mean, it's not just in the Tennessee Valley. It's all locations. But anytime you have a strong cold front that comes through in November, you can get these crazy temperature fluctuations where you can have days on the 10-day forecast in the 70s like we do today and tomorrow and Saturday, and then have that Monday that will struggle to get to 40. Overnight lows Friday night are around 60, but by the time you get to Monday night, they're 24. So it's almost a 40-degree difference in about 4 days. That's a huge change. And a lot of people are like, well, once the cold air gets here, it's not going away. Winter's here. But on the back edge of that 10-day forecast, there's some 60s to near 70, and it warms up significantly after that shot of cold air. It's really a Sunday night, Monday night affair. And then you can still call Tuesday kind of cool, but not crazy cool. And then warm again. So long-term forecast models show evidence that the end of the month of November will actually be above average. So this little cold spell we have coming for the beginning of the week might be the exception rather than the rule. We'll see how it plays out. Forecast models, when they're over 10 days, can flip back and forth quite a bit. But overall trend is to keep temperatures at or above average for the rest of the month after this blast of cold on Monday. That's kind of a bold statement to make, because Monday, we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's like halfway through the month. So I'm calling my shot here, not even halfway through November, that the end of the month will be above average, which is a bit bold, I would imagine. But we'll see how it goes. Kind of bummed. I thought Sarah was going to come on today. She texted me. She says, I'm going to be on with Daniel this morning. I don't see her on, but the forecast itself, a lot of moving pieces and parts, and those who do not follow the weather closely are going to be in for a rude awakening on Monday when it's that cold. And no matter how much we talk about it or how much we exploit the big change that's coming, it's still going to catch everybody off guard. They're all going to be like, wow, what a change this is. And that Monday night temperature, 24, I don't know if it's a drip faucet kind of cold, but I'll tell you, that's some chilly air for this time of year. And it's not just for the Tennessee Valley. It's the Great Lakes, Eastern Seaboard, parts of New England. In fact, the Great Lakes in New England will get even colder than we will, as that's where the core of the really chilly stuff will be. We just get like a little taste of it for like a day and a half, and then it's out of here. So I'm looking forward to next Wednesday and Thursday already. I actually have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off next week. And I'm going to probably just stay inside on Monday, watch Hallmark. But by Wednesday and Thursday, I'm actually going to try to schedule a little bit of pickleball on the outdoor courts. I think it will be that nice. I'm boldly saying that I'm going to play a little pickleball. Obviously, if there's a little too much wind, I won't do that. But if there's no wind, I definitely will take advantage. I'm not playing pickleball on Monday outside, though. Forget about it. 39, little breeze, flurries. Probably not in Huntsville, but still. Very, very chilly air. Certainly not going to be a day I want to be outside. I'm gonna get myself some chicken noodle soup on that Monday and just chill out and have some soup. Makes me feel better. All right, TVL coming at you at 11 o'clock. Peyton will be on, and she'll have the very latest, talking about probably some events that are taking place. Everything. What's so great about TVL? It's a variety of so many things I watch. I'm probably the biggest fan of TVL. So even on my days off, I watch TVL. So I get ideas about like cooking. I get ideas about restaurants to check out in the Tennessee Valley, events that take place, and sometimes I take those events and I put them into a forecast for the weekend. I say I saw that on TVL, and I go ahead and put it on. I make a graphic out of it. The jam-packed 30 minutes of things you need to know about what's happening in the Tennessee Valley, which is fantastic. And then Gina Benitez will be on at noon. She'll have the very latest on stories that are breaking here for your Thursday. Update stories that from the overnight. And I'll mix in a little weather from time to time on both shows here this morning. Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis will be in tonight, and he'll have the very latest on both of the 48 first alert weather days that we've issued, including the storm timeline for Friday evening or Friday afternoon. Get a little better sense of when the storms will start, when they'll finish, and then talk more about the big changes on Sunday and Monday. I am filling in for Eric tomorrow. Eric is going to be off. I think he's going to try to get a round of 18 in before the storms come in the afternoon. And then Brad will be, I do believe, is back in Friday night, and obviously he'll be covering the storms as they roll across the Tennessee Valley. So we got you covered here on 48. Always a good reminder, too, that if you have not downloaded the WAFF 48 weather app, it's a very useful tool if you haven't seen that promo. And it's not just covering storms, too. There are so many different layers on that 48 weather app that are so much more than just the radar themselves. You can actually change the contours with the little settings button on the right of the temperatures. And if you have the 48 weather app open on Sunday morning, you will actually see the little blue color go south during the day, and you'll watch your temperatures drop in your backyard. Like you'll feel your temperatures dropping. But there's so many different layers to it. There's even an earthquake layer. Like, not that we have a tremendous amount of earthquakes here, but it's more than just radar, but useful tool coming into play tomorrow afternoon when the storms start to roll in, and towards the evening especially, that you can have that 48 weather app. And it not only does it give you the radar, gives you so many other options that you can do with it. You can do a present mode, you can do a future mode, and it also will pinpoint your location so that if you have a storm that's producing some gusty winds or heavy rain, Brad's voice will come on and say, heavy rain detected in your area, and he'll let you know, like with his voice and everything. It's a pretty awesome like app for a TV station. It's pretty good. So, but everybody have a fantastic day. And catch up with you again tomorrow. Come check us out, TVL at noon, and enjoy the beautiful afternoon across the Tennessee Valley with the temperatures in the 70s and sunny for this afternoon.